Lancelot. Okay. Like you say, gladiators in this story are resurrected, inspired, yada yada, characters based on ethereal legends, dawn, and also wear sacred swords that cover their body. And starting with Lancelot, he has you're gonna probably have to correct me with all of these names, the Arondight?
Arondight.
Ar-
Arondight is based on Lancelot. In Arthurian legend, Lancelot had a sword. It was originally called Secure, which means to secure, but later on, mythology changed it to Arondight. Now, Arondight and the myths only had about the same powers. Well, not even the same powers that Excalibur had. It was a step down from Excalibur because it didn't have the glowing effect, it didn't have all that, but it was really good at two things. It could cut through pretty much anyone's armor, and it allowed Lancelot to have a connection to his foster mother, the Lady of the Lake, which is great because when your foster mother's a fairy, you kind of cheat a lot.
I suppose that's why he has a technique literally called the Lady of.
Yep, yep. He's summoning his mom to fight to help him fight. Like, Mom, this guy's really tough.
Okay, you
Not a big.
either you want to discuss the actual type of sword it is?
Yeah. So in the original Legends, it is more of it's more of an arming sword. But in Saint Seiya, when we do see him, like the few times we see him activate it, like in its sword form, it takes more of a form of a long
Light.
sword. Kind of interesting because that sword is just massive for no reason, and it's really weird because if you look at Shura, his sword is like when he uses Excalibur, when they do the picture to show what Excalibur looks like when he's not using it as a blade, when he's not using it as his arm, they draw it as a proper arming sword. So I found that interesting.
And it says when I try to Google it, I'm getting nothing but wild fantasy type.
Yeah, yeah,
Not going to get much
yeah,
historical on this one, I see.
yeah. We're not getting anything. Like I just googled it like you did, and the first like 8 pictures are just stuff from Fate Stay Night. Thanks, Type Moon.
Yes,
Appreciate it.
well, that's one way for a weapon to get iconic, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, but yeah, so which is I find really interesting that Saint Seiya does do a lot of references to Arthurian myth with Arondight. Like pretty much all of his techniques, what are based on things that Lancelot did in the myth. They're just all putting it in one source instead of his many sources. The Lady of the Lake technique, which we already talked about. Several swords is just the Lady of the Lake creating more swords for Lancelot to use. The toxic thing is actually kind of interesting because Lancelot technically does not have a connection to poison. He had a resistance to poison because he had a magic ring from the Lady of the
Hmm.
Lake that allowed him to be immune to poison. So what I'm thinking is the writer of episode G Assassin just was like, well, since he's immune to poison, what if he could use that immunity to create poison for other people? So I'm guessing that's what happened.
Yeah, worked with something there. And his name's Okada.
Oh, Okada. Thank you. I forgot his name. Yeah.